sewing friends, happy spring. With the changing of the season, I am here today to share what I had planned for autumn and winter and what I actually made. So I've got my stack here of the things I made, but also the fabrics that went uncut. And at the end, I will share what I learned from what I planned versus what I actually made. There were definitely some big lessons there that I will take with me planning my spring summer makes and my spring summer wardrobe. But yeah, I thought I would go through everything that I had planned, whether or not I made it, why, and then I've got some little wild cards in there to share as well. So I did my planning a little bit differently this time around, where I actually brought in pieces that are already in my wardrobe, whether they're things that I had made in the past or ready to wear items, also ready to wear items I wanted to acquire to make like whole outfits. And I did these cute little mock-ups, which took a very long time. I am not gonna lie, I'm not very good at it. So on the one side, I'm like, yeah, I could have used all of that time just to sew things and like do the actual thing. But on the other hand, I do think it really gave me a really nice way to visualize how I was going to actually incorporate the new things I'm making and bringing into my wardrobe with stuff that I already have. So in that sense, I think it did really help me think about how I'm going to actually wear stuff. Because sometimes I think like, oh, this will go with this, this, and this, and this, and it'll be fine. And then I actually make the garment and realize like it wasn't as versatile as I thought. And I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in that. So this exercise definitely brought that reality down a little bit. So I think I'm happy with what I went for, and we'll go into, yeah, what I had planned versus what I actually made. So this first look has a couple of ready-to-wear pieces that I already owned. These velvet straight leg, kind of like peg leg checked trousers are super fun. I wear them all the time. And then this like kind of pear lime green sweater. It's so beautiful and so warm. It's also really itchy, and that is why I needed a couple of collared blouses to wear under it. And so I came up with doing the Helmi blouse from Forget Me Not Patterns in this really pretty, very, very lightweight, almost sheer viscose. I think it's still a challis. It's not quite like a chiffon, but it's super, super light, which is perfect for layering. It's got the Peter Pan collar that just peeks out like under the sweater when I wear it that way, but I also love wearing this just by itself. This is one that has gone like way beyond my expectations as just like a layering piece. It is probably one of my favorite things that I made last year. I made this in December, and I think I've worn it, gosh, I don't even know how many times. I probably wear this once a week. I dress this up for Christmas dinner with family. It just is, yeah, it's one of my favorite pieces. I will say I had expected from, yeah, the little mock-up that I did that I would like wearing it without the sweater with these trousers. And something about like the color combination is not quite it. I love to print mix, and I had thought like, oh, this has black and blue just like the trousers have in it, but this one really reads very like yellow green from far away, which I hadn't really anticipated. I hadn't really thought of that level of the scale of the print, if that makes sense. So it doesn't go with as many things as I had expected, but it also goes with things that I hadn't even thought of. So I think it's a win-win. The only change that I made to this blouse was, I think I took the shoulders in. I've made it so many times I don't remember my like regular adjustments, but the only thing new I did for this version was to shorten the little placket opening here. I find that when they're too deep, they kind of start like migrating off to the side. So I shortened that. I do have to kind of like wiggle a little bit to get my head in there, but I think it sits much nicer like on my high chest, having it be a little bit shorter. So I will definitely repeat that if I make the Helmi again, and I do think I will. It's one of my favorite patterns. It just comes together so nicely. I did mostly French seams, and I just really love this blouse. I wear it so much, and yeah, it's one of my favorite pieces from the season, but also I think like of all of last year. So this next look is one that I just kind of ran out of steam for, and it's one that I still really like and will probably roll over like some sort of iteration into spring. So I was pulling from my closet a chocolate brown Seamwork Goldie top that I had made last year. I love the chocolate brown with this kind of like greeny mustard. Officially the name is Dreamy Twilight, which I don't really see this as Dreamy Twilight. Like, this green is not really that's not what comes to mind for me when I think of Twilight, but maybe I'm missing something, and I'm sure Atelier Bernadette has their reasons. But this is a viscose linen with this really pretty like little square texture woven in, and I still love the idea of this for a skirt, and I really like it with the chocolate brown. But yeah, I was gonna try to like self-draft a skirt, and then I was like, well, do I want to toile that? I basically got pretty like in my head about it, and ultimately just kind of ran out of time. So I will probably be thinking about this for springtime, but maybe not quite in the exact plan that I initially had for fall winter. This is another case where I just didn't really want to make a toile, so I'm rolling it over into next season, probably. So this dress was meant to be a chalk and notch Shay, which I have made before, and the version I made that version still fits me, but my body has changed quite a bit, and so I do think I want to toile before I cut into this incredible Liberty cotton lawn that I picked up last summer. So it was also one of those things that I don't think I would wear this print a whole ton in the spring. So as we got like later into winter, I was like, I kind of think I just want to maybe let that one go. But yeah, I had planned to style this for winter with like a sheer black turtleneck underneath, kind of some fun like alti vibes. So I didn't end up making this, but I did kind of go for like a Wildcard make. Back in October, I went with the Seamwork crew, or the Seamwork local club for the Netherlands. We went to a lingerie fabric store. They specialize in all things, yeah, bra and undies making. And I picked up a couple fabrics there, not to do any lingerie making. I have not done that. I probably should try. That is definitely something that I have trouble with ready to wear, but I'm not brave enough yet. But I did pick up a couple of pieces, and I ended up making this dress, which if you saw my like 2025 roundup, this featured quite a bit. This is my like go-to going out dress now. It's made in a not very nice, I will be honest, poly mesh. I have learned the difference that I love a mesh, but I love a nylon based, like nylon spandex or polyamide spandex mix. This one is polyester, and I don't know, wait, like, can you hear? Like, it makes weird sounds when you move. It has kind of a weird texture. It is a little bit, it's not as sweaty as I thought it would be, but it's still not great. But I do really, really love it. Yeah, I bought this in October, and it was perfect for, what I initially got it for was to sew up for something to wear to an emo festival. I really loved the like romanticness of the heart kind of argyle print, but it's also black and felt a little bit edgy. So obviously this and a Liberty Tana lawn are very different things, very different dresses. Oh, I should say the pattern that I actually used. I hacked 3 patterns together, and I will say this fits like a glove. I really love how it turned out. I basically used the bodice from the Helen's Closet Dawson, but then I put in princess seams because this fabric doesn't have a ton of stretch, so I really wanted some good shaping around there. So I used the princess seams from the Cashmerette Foxhill, which comes in, oh, I don't even have it here. Oh yeah, it's there. You can't see it, but it's from the Cashmerette first book. And then for the skirt, I used the Seamwork Wallis, which comes as a romper, but I stuck it on this dress. So it's very much like a Frankenstein creation, but I do really love it, even if it's not the most comfortable thing. I've gotten a ton of wear out of it. And yeah, again, very, very different than what I had initially planned, but I do feel like the vibes kind of align. So on that same trip, I also picked up this really lovely nylon stretch mesh. It's got, I don't know how well you can see, it's like, there's both like stripes, but also dots. It's very lacy. And I even went and did a little, what is that called? A lettuce hem on the neckline and also on the sleeve. This is just a Dawson top from Helen's Closet. And yeah, it was not part of my plans, but this has been, again, one of the most worn pieces in my wardrobe since I made it in December. I really, really love it. And I'm sharing it here because I wear it functionally the same way that I thought that I would wear the Meadow blouse from Seamwork. So this is one, yeah, this was my like original plan with the ready to wear sweater, which I did not have at the time that I made this plan. And I ended up picking it up in the sale and I wear it all the time, probably like once a week. It's, again, so cozy, so warm, though itchy in the neck, which is where these little lacy nylon sheer turtlenecks come in really handy because, again, they don't really add much weight or bulk, but they do still like protect my neck and wrists. So functionally, I wear this outfit all the time. Did I want it to be these sheer cats with the neck ruffle instead of a turtleneck? Yes, I did. And I still really love this idea. I think I still want to make it at some point. I was running low on time and I was like, oh, maybe I can just like whip it out. But this is a viscose chiffon and it is so slippery. And this is something I really want to take my time with. I want to be able to, for one, cut it really, really accurately because it is hecka shifty. Like it's even hard to just fold up. That's why I'm not like opening it up to show you because it will take me an age to gather back into itself. So I wanted to make sure I could take my time cutting. I'd want to use like French seams and really like be super accurate with the neck binding, that kind of thing. So I felt like I was running low on time and I didn't want to rush it, but someday this will be a Seamwork Meadow blouse. So for this look, we got halfway there with the nylon mesh Dawson top again. This one in this really pretty like purpley maroon color. Gotten, again, tons of wear out of this one. If you watched my, like, what was it called? The What Abby Wore outfit challenge from February, you'll know that, yeah, these two got so much wear. I do really love them. Again, I went with the lettuce hem on the neckline and the sleeve. So I get tons of wear out of this one. I had imagined it weighed up into an outfit with this Fabulism fabric as a skirt. And again, I started looking at like, how much do I really wear midi skirts in the winter time, especially cottons like this. I do think they would be warm, but I was like, then I'll have to line it because it'll stick to my tights. And then if I line it, I might not want to wear it in the summer. So I got a little bit, yeah, in my head about that and kind of reached some decision fatigue around the pattern that I wanted to use because I was going to hack the Friday Pattern Company Wren dress and just use the skirt portion and put in like a facing or a waistband to make it a wrap skirt. And I do still like that idea, but I also have kind of, I think I have 2.5 meters of this. And I really like it, and it might just be calling out to me to be a dress. And I had thought maybe like a shift dress where I could ultimately eventually like still pair these together if it was kind of like a shift or like a pinafore situation. I had thought about maybe the, not tilling the buttons, True Bias Aster could be really cute with these two perhaps. So this one, I think I have kind of maybe moved on from my initial idea. I do still really like them together. I still absolutely love this fabric with the little like hearts in the kind of dimensional chambray. It's like a little bit blue, definitely red, kind of purpley. Love the colors, love the texture, but I'm not quite sold on my initial idea anymore. So finally, a 2 for 2. Like I actually made both things that I had set out to make in this look. So first I had the Pattern Scout Brigit t-shirt. Now I did kind of cheat with this one a little bit because I had cut this out last year. Well, last spring, like tail end of winter 2025, but I had never put it together, even though it is like the perfect color, the perfect cut. I really, really love this. I will say I didn't do great on the sizing. I've made this before and it came out too big. So for this one, I sized down on the pattern, but in the time that I cut out the pattern and actually made it, I myself had sized up. So this one is a little tight. It is a little, I like fitted tops. This one is like a little more fitted than I had anticipated, but it's still wearable. And yeah, the color just makes me so happy. I put in this Be the Space label from Kylie and the Machine with this pretty sunflower on it, which, you know, for an extra tight fitting top is pretty appropriate. So I really, really love this, and I extra love it paired with this Bernadette skirt that I have been planning for ages. Now, the fabric is different than what I had initially planned for, yeah, back in like September, October, because I went to, again, with Seamwork. I guess I do all of my fabric shopping when I am with them. It might be, you know, no one's pressuring me to do it, but I am like, I do notice when I'm with other people, I spend more money. So I didn't need this wool, but I love it. And I'm so glad I picked it up at the La Pièce Markt when we were there in December. So this one, the initial one was like a brown check, whereas this is like it's actually a black and yellow wool woven together, but then it reads as green from far away because the weave is so nice and tight. It's really warm. It was really nice to work with. I changed up the Bernadette pattern a little bit. I fell between sizes, so I kind of manipulated the pleats in the front a little bit, and then I added elastic in the back. It is fully lined because it is wool and then still has a zipper on the side. I am in love with how this turned out. It definitely took a little bit more math, a little bit more planning. I had to kind of reorder a lot of the construction to account for the lining rather than the facing. I could have used the facing pieces and then attached the lining, but because I was doing like the elastic back and manipulating the front pleats, I just basically made it up on my own, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's so cute. It's so cute paired with the bright green, but it also goes with a lot of other things in my wardrobe. Now, I haven't gotten to wear this as much as I hoped so far, but it is really warm, and I do think it's something that I will wear a bit more, hopefully next season. I just didn't have very many places to go where I would like get a little bit more dressed up in the time since I made it. So I love it. It definitely deserves more wear. So I'm going to try to prioritize that maybe in this next month or so. The last look that I had envisioned for fall winter sewing is this one here, which again utilizes a top I already had in my wardrobe. I made this last year, and if you caught my Not Boring Knit Tops series, you'll know that this was my favorite one. This is a hack of the forget-me-not Sylvie top. So it uses the cowl neck with this really pretty like V-neck or V yoke insertion. And I just added like long slim sleeves instead of the flutter sleeves the pattern comes with. And I really love this one. I love the color. I love the fit. I love that it's got like that cowl neck for a bit of extra interest. Yeah, it's cute. It's comfy. I love the color. So definitely a win. And I loved the way that it went with this viscose that has been in my stash for, gosh, like maybe I think like 4 years. And I had been like waffling for ages about like the perfect dress pattern to use with it and just not really finding one. And I was like, I think I would wear it a lot more just as a really simple skirt. So I basically, at what point is it like pattern hacking to like almost self-drafting? So I used the Seamwork Meg dress as a jumping off point. I really like the shape of the skirt. It's not too much fullness, but there's a good amount of gathers. I also really like that it, as a dress, compensates in the curvy range for a fuller bust, which means there are more gathers at the front body than the back body. So it looks really even. And that's something that I find with a lot of gathered patterns or elasticated things, that for folks like me with more of my circumference is in the front than in the back. When it's supposed to be even, there's a lot more gathers at the back than the front, and the front looks a little bit empty. So I really liked that about the Seamwork Meg. And then basically everything else beyond the very simple skirt shape, I attempted myself. So for one, I lengthened it. I added a waistband and belt loops. And I'm really glad I put the belt loops on. I always think it's really nice to be able to add a belt, but I also used, I was using what I had in my stash, which was pajama elastic. So this elastic is so soft. There's no structure to it. Very, very comfortable to wear. But if I have anything in my pockets, it will just like fall right down if I'm not wearing a belt. That's the other thing I drafted myself was the pockets. I made them so that like they could match flush with the angle of the A-line skirt, but like still be perfectly on grain, which is something that has bugged me so much in ready-to-wear garments, that they cut the fabric for the pocket on, like, I guess not even like the true bias, but just like at an angle. And so then they flop around weird. These ones are anchored really nicely. It's top stitched down. The belt loops are like fully enclosed. I had to think about how the construction would work quite a bit. I was definitely like laying awake at night thinking of how I needed to put this together. But in the end, it came together so well. It's so comfy, but it kind of has like, yeah, again, like alt adjacent vibes with the red and the black, but is still really wearable. I can pair it with this. I've paired it with a bunch of other things in my closet. I've gotten so much wear out of this in less than the month since I finished it, and I definitely think it's one of my wardrobe staples. So that's everything that I made in fall and winter. I've been thinking about what I have learned from what I had planned versus what I actually made in that 6-month window. I gave myself quite a lot to do, and I feel like it was different this season than my usual menu approach. So often when I plan around the same amount of projects, around like 9 to 12 for a like 6-month season. And yeah, with the idea that it's like a menu that you can I can pick and choose what I want, but I'm not looking at like my entire fabric or pattern stash and then getting caught in like analysis paralysis. It's really good for me to like sit down, plan a few things, and like that's my stack of fabrics. I get my patterns ready, and then I can mix and match and pull from that menu. And yeah, it's like at a restaurant. You're not required to order every single thing, of course. But I do think that because I kind of put them into these looks into the outfits, I did feel more pressure to complete them. And I kind of need to sit with that perhaps, and think about, because I was like very, very happy, so proud that I completed like one of the looks, which only included making a blouse, these two that were a top and a skirt, and then felt a little bit funny about like the maroon mesh top, but not making the skirt to go with it. It felt like incomplete when really this is a great addition to my wardrobe that I have worn so much. I've already gotten so much use out of. And I think I feel right now at least that I made the right call waiting on the cotton midi skirt, thinking that I probably wouldn't really wear that very much for winter at least. So giving myself some more time to think about that, I think was the right call. But then there's still something in me that is like, yeah, but you didn't do the thing. The plan is incomplete. Like you only made one of the two and it's not a finish. Very silly. So I'm gonna continue to sit with that for a little bit. Yeah, those are my observations about having done it this way. Again, the pros were being able to like actually see it kind of in the context of an outfit. I do find that helpful. But for me, I think I need to find a way to approach that without feeling like beholden to it. As for the things that I did manage to finish, I am really pretty happy. I think that this is one of the lowest like success to failure ratios. Now, I have been sewing for almost 10 years next month. So like, yes, I do have a certain amount of experience and I know relatively what I like. So yes, the fitting on this guy was just kind of a silly circumstance, with like my body changing, but then anticipating like a different change. It's a little bit too small, but still wearable. I do still wear it. It's not perfect, but that's okay. And then the only one I haven't really gotten a chance to wear as much is the wool Bernadette skirt, but I do really think that is something that is going to, eventually find its place in my wardrobe. I feel like I made it a little bit late in the season. I think if I had had this skirt in like December when we were doing lots of like holiday things, or even in like into January where I was dressing up a little bit more, in wintry things, I should say, it would have served me a little bit better. Having made it like right before March, where like I'm kind of ready to transition away from wearing wool all the time, just feels a little bit like a miss, but it will be there for me next year in my closet with all kinds of cute things to wear with it. So definitely feel like what I did actually make was really successful and I'm really happy with them. And then for the things that I didn't get to, again, a couple of them, like I just want to have a bit more of a think about that maybe I didn't quite have the right fabric or right like pattern pairing for the particular moment. So, I mean, it's not like fabric goes bad. Like it's gonna just find its place with the rest of my collection. Yeah, I do definitely want to prioritize these two coming up. So hoping to actually make that Shay toile so that I can get going on this for the summertime, because I do think I'd wear it a whole lot in the, like summer, fall time. I think it would be great for hopefully my trip back to Portland this year. Fingers crossed, we're not booked yet, but I really hope we get to go again. And then my birthday's in the fall, so this just feels like such a me fabric and such a me dress. So I really want to get that toiled up and actually made this year. And then same with this one. I want to have a little bit more of a think about, I still want it to be a skirt, but maybe not a midi skirt. And maybe I want to let go of the pleats idea and make something that's going to be a little bit more practical for me, something with a little bit more give. I want to also wash the fabric too. I don't usually pre-wash my fabric when I just get it, because then when I go to use it, I have to iron it. So usually I leave it until I'm just about to make it. Then I pre-wash it, toss it in the dryer, and then I don't usually have to like fully iron huge swaths of fabric, which is really bad for my shoulder. So I do, however, think I need to pre-wash this fabric first before deciding on what to make, because I think the texture might change. If any of you have had this one, it's the Atelier Bernadette Little Tiles fabric. Let me know if it changed when you washed it. Yeah, so I might need to have more of a think about this one. So I will say I am very happy to be closing the book on my fall winter plans. Even though I didn't finish, I could definitely just keep going with these. None of them are like particularly not spring-esque, but I definitely think it's time for me to put them back, put them aside, and focus on some new projects. So I have been going through my fabrics. I bought my first piece of fabric of the year and it was arriving today. I'm very excited. So looking at some new projects for spring going into summer, trying to pare it down. I have so much inspiration and so much energy for planning projects and then so little for actually making them. So I need to rein myself in. So I'll be back hopefully soon with what I'm planning for spring once I can actually make some decisions and be a bit more realistic about my actual sewing time. So I would, of course, love to hear from you what your sewing wins were of fall, winter, or spring, summer, if you are down under, of course. Yeah, wins, losses, fails, flops. I am here for all of it. Yeah, and if you are still trying to like eke out the last bit of winter time, I mean, the weather is crazy here. I don't know what it is for you, obviously, but it's sunny and rainy and sunny and rainy. Classic spring. So I'm not putting away my winter clothes just yet, but it does feel nice to kind of put a period on these particular plans, return these back to the shelves, and focus on something new. So that is everything from me this week. I hope your week going forward is full of not only creative inspiration, but also creative get-to-itness. I don't know how to say that, but you know, not just the planning, but the actual doing as well. So all the creative energy to do the thing that you want to do. I wish that for you. And until next time, guys, happy making. Bye!